I can't go out. I'm sick. There's no thirst trap. We just have bad reboots today. Sorry if I sound a bit hoarse. The chicken crossed the road and only left me with the horse. I'm sick, but don't let that distract you from the fact that How I Met Your Mother, a beloved sitcom comedy, is getting a reboot. In the height of reboot season, you thought How I Met Your Mother was safe, but you're wrong, because a Hulu original show called How I Met Your Father, starring Hilary Duff and Josh Peck, that's right, no one is talking about this, is being aired as a Hulu original show. It's coming out on January 18th, 2022. That is so weird to say that it's 2022 now. But the show hasn't come out yet, so I don't want to trash on it too hard. But they have dropped the trailer, and I think we should take a look through the trailer, see what they're choosing to showcase about this show, try to hold back judgment. I lied. We're not gonna hold back judgment. Let's just make fun of it together, okay? Maybe if you guys like this video, we'll watch episode 1 on Hulu together and see how wrong or right I was in this video about the show. Now, admittedly, I'm not a How I Met Your Mother expert. I didn't watch every single episode of all 12 seasons, but honestly, it's even more telling how someone like me can look at the trailer for the reboot and objectively think, this is cringe. C for cringe, of course. Now, of course, not every reboot is going to live up to the original source material's hype, but there have been successful reboots, there have been successful sequels, namely Shrek 2 is the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. Other reboots that exist are Girl Meets World instead of Boy Meets World, which people actually liked Girl Meets World, even as a spin-off of a previously beloved franchise. Oh, and we have He's All That.
Well, my parents are divorced.
Okay.
The spin-off of She's All That, starring Addison Rae and Kourtney Kardashian.
Fortunate? My ex-husband's hiking accident was unfortunate, and he was mauled by bears.
Oh my god, is he okay?
Better than you.
That was a spin-off to remember, to say the least.
This is the story of How I Met Your Father. It was hard to live in the moment in 2022. There was always someplace else you could be, someone else you could be with.
So there are two types of people inevitably when any reboot of any franchise comes out. You are either this person. I was scared that this would just be a gender swap of the main characters, but I'm glad they're doing something different. Plus, I love Hilary Duff, so I'm definitely gonna give this a watch. Or you're like our friend Martin Thomas here. Okay, first off, these idiots... Hold on, let me read this in like a Ben Shapiro voice. Okay, first off, these idiots in Hollywood are lazy liberal morons who have proven yet again with this show that they can't come up with anything original. And now, that said, I too love Hilary Duff, but this is exactly what it was a knockoff of, and now finished popular show. Just recast. I'm a different way. Everything's all about reboots, knockoffs, and reality TV because Hollywood has gotten truly lazy and no one takes pride in their jobs. You can catch me next week on, what's Ben Shapiro's show? Why is Ben Shapiro SoundCloud? Who searched this enough that it shows up in my auto suggest? Okay, hold on. Oh, wait a minute.
New York Magazine's cover features a trans man who carved a penis out of the flesh of her leg, and Joe Biden lays out his new plan for fighting COVID. So...
You certainly got my attention there. Damn, I was expecting to see like Ben Shapiro's spittin' bars.
A trans man who carved a penis out of the flesh of his leg, and Joe Biden lays out his new plan for fighting COVID. So much science.
That'll be a video for another day. But anyway, let's watch this How I Met Your Father trailer together to see what it's all about.
I know this might sound crazy, but I've been on 87 Tinder dates this year. My last date was the worst one yet.
I was on another day before this, and I just had sex.
He told you that? Why would he tell you that?
That's not even the worst part.
To a night of new friends!
This is the best place ever. Repeat after me. Today is the first chapter of my next great love story.
Today is the first chapter of my next great love story.
Oh my God!
You must be Sophie. It's a real pleasure.
Okay, so far, I have a lot of thoughts on this trailer, but so far, this seems like a sappy rom-com. How I Met Your Mother was known for being a funny sitcom that also had romance entwined in the story. But I think at its core, and first and foremost, it was a comedy show. I mean, I looked up the original trailer to How I Met Your Mother just so I could get a gist of how they marketed How I Met Your Mother when it came out versus this. And the original How I Met Your Mother trailer is literally Barney's playbook. That's how they marketed the show. But this feels like it was marketed towards middle-aged moms sitting on their couch on a Wednesday night downing a bottle of wine and crying. Honestly, that doesn't sound too bad. It's just not that funny. I haven't laughed once in the trailer, which if you slap How I Met Your Mother on it, people are gonna think it's supposed to be funny. And I think it is supposed to be funny, but it's not funny.
Screw being mature. Yes, we can still make bad choices for a few more years.
This is the best night of my life! When you tell the story in the future, just promise me you will change that part.
We live in confusing times.
Valentina, you are completely insane. I'm very into it.
So they have that British guy that I think they're trying to make the Barney type character. You know, he's into weird stuff. It looks like he's kind of a womanizer. There was a part where he meets a girl naked but doesn't pass up the opportunity to get to know her. And I don't know why, but just for some reason it just feels forced. And I know that this is just a trailer, but I just have a feeling that this guy's gonna be super one-dimensional, maybe have a sappy storyline here and there. And I guess that's not a bad thing. A lot of characters in sitcoms are kind of one-dimensional in a way.
It's really hard to meet someone and connect and have it feel easy. You gotta get back out there sometime.
Yeah, ever since Meredith dumped you, I've been spending $50 a week on Kleenex.
Because you're crying? Or because you're going to town on yourself?
Crying.
Bro.
Both.
I didn't know they casted 𝐜𝐭 in this. Damn. They got the budget for that? I mean, like, I get, like, Josh Peck and Hilary Duff, but Cody's really taking his acting career to the next level, especially that feature in that Darman video.
Together we will take this city by storm. We are not afraid of you, New York.
We're the bravest people in this city. I'll drink to that.
It's just cringe once again. What's that? Can I get a C? C for cringe, of course. So even their big joke at the end was just kinda cheesy. One thing I also noticed throughout the trailer was that, and tell me if it's just me, but none of the characters have any chemistry at all. This is not a believable group of friends. This feels like a group of actors that are forced to be friends at gunpoint. Also, I saw a comment mention this, but they're kinda right. All of the guys have the same haircut and are dressed exactly the same way. Like, I think the reason that I felt that these characters were one-dimensional and had no personality were because they all feel like copy-paste versions of a stereotypical trope. And the whole bit about the Tinder date just wasn't funny. I felt like they could have written something way more hilarious about the Tinder date.
My last date was the worst one yet.
I was on another day before this, and I just had sex.
You're telling me she's went on like 87 dates, and the one that they chose to broadcast in this trailer, which is supposed to be the funniest, most outrageous one, is just him telling her that he had sex before this? I feel like that's not that crazy. You're telling me that was the worst one? Kind of sounds like you're meeting some upstanding guys. I feel like in those 87, you've probably met a few decent ones, if this is your worst one. Alright, that's enough of me rambling about How I Met Your Father. And I know that this is a different show, it is a sequel, it has different characters, different storyline, but when you slap How I Met Your whatever on it, people are going to compare it because it's literally a spinoff. How am I not going to compare the two? How am I not going to compare the two? So now with that being said, let's watch the original How I Met Your Mother trailer to kind of take the ickiness out of our mouths from that How I Met Your Father trailer.
This, my friends, is the playbook.
Okay, I'm sorry that it's in like 360p. This is the only official trailer that I could find on YouTube. Just imagine it on your 4x3 chunky television. Take a trip down memory lane with me and just bear with the 360 pixels on the screen.
The playbook contains every scam, con, gambit, flim-flam, stratagem, and bamboozle I've ever used or ever hope to use to pick up chicks and give them the biz. From basic moves like the don't drink that. Whoa, don't drink that. I saw some guy slip something in there.
What? Who?
That guy.
Thank you.
Look at this.
No.
I got left at the altar.
Oh my God, that's horrible. I wonder if that would work.
Have you guys seen the My Penis Grants Wishes?
Really? A genie comes out of it?
Only if you rub it hard enough.
That's what they chose to use to market How I Met Your Mother. Of course, some of the humor and jokes in the show are a bit outdated for today's standards. It was still a really funny trailer where you automatically knew the personalities of a lot of the characters. You kinda knew what the show was about. It showcased the type of comedy that was in the show. Like, it's funny. It made me chuckle. It didn't come off like some sappy rom-com, which I know at times that it was, but at its core, it is a sitcom. Oh right, I forgot. So now that we've got that taste out of our mouths, let's go back to the How I Met Your Father trailer. And you might be wondering, how many people like this? It says 10,000 people like this trailer. It has 7 million views. How many people dislike it? Well, gee, I'm glad you asked, because I had the same thought. Let's see. Okay. Install return YouTube dislike. Let's add it to Chrome. Let's try to refresh the page. There we go, that's better. It has mostly dislikes, but we would have never known. Wow, thanks YouTube. That's awesome. In conclusion, as a high school essay writer would write, How I Met Your Father is going to try to have a modern take on How I Met Your Mother, you know, with dating apps, modern dating struggles that we can all relate to, I guess. It's starring Hilary Duff and Josh Peck, and I like them as actors. I just think the writing in this show, or at least what they've showcased in the trailer, is not very hopeful. But like I always say, if you like this kind of humor and you love How I Met Your Father, good for you. Let people enjoy things and comment something nice on someone else's post today. This might be an outrageous goal, but if I don't say it or hold myself accountable to it, it might not ever happen. And my goal is to get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube if YouTube stops suppressing my content. I swear it's not that bad. You don't have to hide it from the algorithm anymore, YouTube, please. So make sure you subscribe to help me hit that goal, and I will see you next time. Bye!
New York Magazine's cover features a trans man who carved a penis out of the flesh of his leg, and Joe Biden lays out his new plan for fighting COVID.